Good morning. My name is Nick Gage, CEO and President of the Morgan Hill Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of our entire team, I'd like to welcome you to the Morgan Hill Chamber of Commerce's BizDev series of educational workshops. Now, the goal of our educational series of workshops is to inform and to educate our business owners and consumers on today's relevant topics of discussion that impact them both today and in the future. So today we're excited and pleased to have on our workshop series President and CEO Steve McFarland of the Better Business Bureau of Los Angeles and Santa Clara counties. Now, I also have to mention that Steve also serves as the Morgan Hill Chamber of Commerce's board chair, for which I am profoundly grateful for your service, Steve, mentorship, and leadership. Working alongside of you is a privilege, and I deeply appreciate your dedication. Now, in today's workshop, Steve is going to inform us of the ever-changing landscape of consumer scams. Steve will provide us actionable insights on detection strategies, how to identify emerging red flags, prevention, and reporting methods that will help us effectively mitigate risks, support enforcement, and safeguard us in the fast-changing threat environment that we live in. So with this as a short prelude, I'm going to hand over the session to Steve. Steve, the mic's yours.
Hi, thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. Very honored to be here this morning. I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary on the Better Business Bureau, and then we're going to get into some scams, and we're going to make a very quick rundown of some of the emerging scams, a little uncharacteristic approach by me, but nevertheless, get your pen and your pencil and something to write on handy so that you can write down a few different tips that might be relevant for you. Let's dive into the action and move on to the next slide. All right, since 1912, BBB is a nonprofit. People ask me all the time, how much money do you take from the government, tax dollars? It's nonprofit. We don't take any money from the government or the state or anyone else. We are nonprofit, and our particular office here in California, the BBB, is about 1,100 consumer complaints per day. If you can imagine that, our staff processes over, sometimes less, sometimes more, on average about 1,100 consumer complaints per day. You can go to bbb.org and take a look at companies and take a look at the reviews. You can look at their ratings and complaints online, everything there for free, and research companies, which I implore you to do. We also have an auto line program similar to the Lemon Law, except what we do is for free. If your car's still under warranty, you can apply for a Lemon Law case on our BBB auto line. Military hotline, there's multiple millions of dollars where military folks travel all the time and they're built out of a lot of fraud, a lot of scam dollars. We offer a free service to our veterans and to our active military. We publish and broadcast latest consumer scams and fraud on our website and various consumer outlets, social media, emails. We have seminars just this year. I produced the precious metals and the moving symposiums, and there's going to be more to come on contractors, locksmiths, all kinds of different industries. Stay tuned for those, and you can find those on our website. We do a lot of consumer education, and the main reason why companies want to be a part of the Better Business Bureau system is because it makes them credible. And 84% of the time that Mrs. Smith is looking for a provider of service or products, if she sees a accredited business with a BBB versus a non-accredited, 84% of the time she's going to choose an accredited business. Might be something you might be interested in. Give.org is the BBB platform for charity reviews. So if you're looking to donate money, go to give.org to take a look. A lot of well-known charities don't qualify, and the reason is the money that we donate to that charity is not being given to the cause, or enough of it to the cause that they actually promote. Let's go on to the next slide. And our BBB is made up of directors, just like businesses, and these are owners in our area from Silicon Valley all the way down to Long Beach is our area. And we have business owners just like you. And that's their pictures down below, their mug shots. And let's go on to the next slide. Some of the outlets that we approach our community and make our awareness of scams and frauds and information about companies are listed here. Good Morning America, the Today Show, all different kinds of news resources, and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And we also have our newscast done in multiple languages. Next slide. So if you do remember anything at all from today's presentation, there will be 2 slides, and this is one of them. Scammers are exploiting public desperation, targeting individuals who are unwilling to wait or fail to research before making a purchase. The most common the most common complaint that we get are from people that have not researched that particular industry, that roofer, that contractor, that car repair. They did not research them beforehand, and guess what happened? So it's not a guarantee when you go on to bbb.org and research a company that you're going to have a successful experience from that company, but it is going to make one heck of a difference. And we appreciate you doing that. We also appreciate you going to CSLB for the contractors, BAR for auto repair. Do research and don't be pushed. Wait, research before you make a purchase. Next slide. We are going to get right now into the action of why you're here, and that has to do with scams. Free trials is first up with gift cards or debit cards. We're being proposed that you're looking at celebrities, and these are for shoes, cosmetics, and soaps and lotions, and you get these free trials. The problem with these particular things is getting out and canceling them. Now the scammers are the ones that have reached out to you via social media, emails, text messages. That's a common ploy that we're going to see throughout all these scams. Now, not only have you given him the credit card and tried to get out of that offer for 1 pair of shoes every month or some gift box or lotions or something, but getting out of those is very difficult. Now they have your credit card information, or they want to be paid with gift cards or debit cards, which is a huge flag. Run to the hills if anybody asks you to pay for a product or service with a gift card or a Venmo or Zelle or whatever. We're moving on to credit repair. We have a lot of student debt out there. The biggest issue to remember with this is advance fees, which are not permitted in California. So don't go to a credit repair loan modification program where they're charging you an advanced fee. Don't believe in guarantees that your credit score is going to be lowered. And with any refunds or whatever, beware of the big promises in this particular area. We get hit on scams of credit repair and loan modification that actually end up costing you more. It makes your credit program worse because the scammers now sent a false link to you. Now they have all your information, including your social security number and your birth date, and that's going to be a heck of a way to get out of that program. So be very careful with those. Next, moving on is the Amazon shipping scams. All of us, if you have email, if you have text, if you have social media, you are going to get an Amazon shipping scam. The latest one, as of just this month, are the refunds, fake refunds. Somebody's proposing to be from Amazon or an agent of them, says, I have a refund from one of your prior purchases. Click here, give me your information, and I'll send that refund money back to you. Of course, the most common Amazon scam is, send me your updated information with your credit card. That way we can make sure that that shipment goes to your business or to your home. A huge scam. You need to be very, very wary and don't pay anybody for Amazon shipping scams or for an extra charge or to update your information with a gift card, Zelle, Venmo, and so on. And Amazon is very aware of this, and they have a terrific site, Report Something Suspicious. And they have a great program with that if you're interested. You can also look on scamtracker.org, which I'll mention a little bit later on some of the more updated Amazon scams. And there's, of course, a lot of shipping ones. Moving on now to Ghost Properties. These are properties where you're looking to rent somewhere, maybe looking to buy, and you go on to social media, and you might look at some sites or a clandestine site that you click on your phone or on your email, and it brings you to a property that's not even for sale or for rent. And you put money down, and there's somebody living in that house that has no idea what's going on. So the other thing too that's really a red flag in this particular area, if somebody's not going to show that property to you, if they're promising that you can move in immediately without even seeing the property, and if the price seems to be too good for rent or the buy, you might notice some grammar and some other, and on top of that, they want to take your money and you haven't even been screened. I mean, come on, if you haven't been screened or shown the site, you really should probably stop that transaction and look for somebody on the that's accredited, that's licensed in that area, real estate agents and so on. Timeshares are big money. You pay a lot of money for timeshares. That we have a very high dollar amount rate. One of our highest ones is for timeshares. And so you're being asked, and if you travel to foreign countries, especially vacation destinations, you're going to be hit up for a free breakfast, free dinner, or whatever else for a timeshare. And there are also sales solicitations on social media and texting, mail, and so on. Give you great deals. Be very wary of this and do some research. There's also fraud on the cancellation side. We have many people that have contacted us. They put thousands of dollars down with a cancel company to get them out of a timeshare. That itself is a scam. Do some research beforehand. Gold and silver fraud, a lot of precious metals being sold. I have to tell you, this is an industry in the United States that is not regulated. A lot of money. Gold is up to what, $700 per ounce today? Crazy. It's gone up so much for a lot of different reasons. I'm not saying that buying gold and silver is something that you shouldn't do. Maybe it is something that you should put in your portfolio. It's just that you need to be very aware. People are being asked to and guaranteed that they're going to get their, if they want to get out, that they're going to get their buyback. That is what they paid for it back. They're also being sold gold and silver as a leverage and a hedge on their future investments and so on. There's a lot of buying and storage schemes. Sometimes you don't get the gold that you've paid for. It gets placed into storage in a trust and you don't know it. And that trust is charging you money. And that's an additional fee that you didn't know about. Research, go to bbb.org and research gold and silver fraud. LA is the largest area for gold and silver dealers. And there are some terrific and very good companies that do gold and silver fraud that really are great for consumers. You just need to research them. Locksmith industry is a $3 billion industry in the United States. A lot of guys are getting ripped off, and we're finding out in the latest series of scams that they're not being done by local companies. These are 800s, and then that central office will refer a local agent in that area, licensed or not, to come out and work on your particular home or business on the lock. And we've even found that some of the egregious locksmiths will go at night and break a key in your lock and then put a sticker on your door that you call Ralph's Locksmith the next day. And that's how they get your business. And you need to check out the locksmiths. Only hire a licensed local locksmith and get the pricing down beforehand. My next door neighbor, she paid $400 just to get back into her house. And the guy wanted cash. It was a total ripoff. So you need to be very careful. Alarm companies go door to door. And I'm not going to name them, but you need to be very careful. My uncle was scammed out of a alarm company contract. He had passed away a year before the signature was dated. So be very careful. And we caught that particular company. Tow companies have kickbacks from property managers. Not all, but tow companies can have, you can park maybe an inch over the line and then your car's towed and money will go back to that property manager or the property owner. And also on top of that, you're being charged egregious rates for tow companies. You need to, if your car's been towed, you can follow the rules and make sure that you do things, but beware of tow companies if you want to have somebody towed to only licensed tow companies in your area and avoid the scams of improper tow processes. We're moving on now to crisis donation scams. We saw this when the Ukraine issue surfaced. We saw that during COVID when the baby formula ran out and people were pushing products on the internet that were fake and taking your money. We always see this with fire and flood disasters. People are imposters. We see in the LA area imposters that are inspectors, insurance agents from the city, and the crisis donation scams. Make sure that if you do, go to give.org first, and you can also go to other sites to verify the crisis firms making sure that the money that they have the capacity to get the money that you worked hard for to donate goes actually to the cause. So GoFundMe and some of these other ones are not very good. And so we call them storm chasers. You know, your tree may have blown down and the guy comes to your door and says, I can take that tree out. Give me $500. I'll see you tomorrow and I'll get the $1,500, the rest of it on the next day. Guess what? He never shows up. So these storm chasers are around for floods and fires and certain disasters. You need to be very careful and look at the license areas of your state and your area, and of course, other research before you put your money down to be able to spot these imposters. By the way, price gouging during these particular times is a crime, Penal Code Section 396. So they're not allowed to price gouge for rent, for homes, or whatever, especially in that LA area. These people were being gouged for super high rent because they had nowhere to go. And of course, the hotels raised their rates. Be very careful about this. You can call your local banker, go to sba.gov, and also go to the California Employers Association, employers.org, to be able to check other avenues for crisis donation alternatives. Your credit card, let's suppose that your credit card has been declined and you have clicked on a link that might be a little bit unusual for you on social media, maybe a text or email, and you can't figure it out. Your credit card was declined, but that doesn't normally happen to you. You have money in your account, you've paid your bill. So what do? You grab another credit card, or your wife or your husband's credit card, or your friends, to be able to, now you've compromised that card. They are fake sites. They want your information, and be very leery about when your credit card is declined when you are really on top of your credit situation. What happens is that not only you compromise your information on your basis card, but also on the secondary card when that declines as well. That should be a red flag that you should check out and research a little bit more. Make sure that S is at HTTPS for secure on that website before you click on it to buy products or services. That will help eliminate some of the credit card decline programs. You're going to get lured with lower pricing, out of inventory soon, buy now, these kind of pressure tactics. We're going to move on to the next slide quickly, as I mentioned. And we've all seen in the latest news about the Labubu and La Fufu, which are the fake dolls, toys. It's still big. In fact, there is a site on fake toys, fake Labubus that are selling, that are actually becoming rare, and they're making money on those products. Not only are the Labubu dolls being sold, but their clothing, there's luggage bags, all kinds of different things for these dolls. But the fake market is also huge. I hear, I'm not positive, that the real ones have 9 teeth, so make sure there's not 10 or 4. And also make sure that you check that QR code on the foot, make sure it's legitimate. The only area that you should go to, I believe, for this particular is Pop Mart, and nowhere else. That's the only place you could buy from the actual store or online. Pet cremation scams. Interesting. You might take Fluffy in, who's passed away, and pay somebody for a cremation. And what happens is that maybe Fluffy got mixed up with a couple other cats or dogs down the street or somewhere else. You paid $500+, and now what do? It's too late. Or nothing happens at all. They seem to be growing in nature. We had a case in pet cremation in the LA area, and took thousands of dollars and then went out of business. They're preying on your emotions. Be very careful about private cremation, upfront services, and so on that are not delivered, special boxes, other services, even seminar or ceremonies post. People are paying for these because they love their animals so much and getting built out a lot of money. A little bit tied to this is memorial stones. That is that if grandma passes away, you can have grandma's remains, her ashes, compressed with machines that can form that carbon into a stone. I don't know the quality of the stone. I haven't seen them, but it could get compressed into a fake stone, a diamond. Well, what's happening is they're taking carbon from maybe from Fluffy, maybe from Ranger, that German Shepherd down the street. It's not grandma, and you're paying a lot of money for it. And you have no idea what's going on. So instead of you wearing grandma on a diamond on your necklace, you've got maybe some a dog or a cat or a piece of charcoal. You need to check the company. You need to check the credibility of that company. You can also go to scamtracker.org. Be careful of the memorial stone scam. Gift card tampering is big. It's huge. It's going to get bigger here in the fall. You're going to see as I can hold up here, which I can hold up a little bit. You're going to see gift cards that have open barcodes on the back. Some of them, like this one here, have a tab that you have to pull off to be able to get that number. What's happening is that scammers are going in and taking pictures of these cards, putting them all back in the rack, and then every day they go in to see if somebody has bought them, and then they use them before that actual consumer from the store has used them. So you need to be very careful. Just last month, I bought 3 Visa cards for my staff, and they had all 3 been tampered with. And that what they did was they glued this tab back on to the card, and it looked good. Of course, I didn't look really that close, but I should have. So I'm telling you, look closely at the gift card tampering. Gift cards by law are good for up to 5 years by law. And one other thing to note is that there is a gift card confirmation website, and there's also a fake gift card confirmation site. Can you believe it? So you go in to check whether your gift card is good on that site, and that one has now collected your information, your address, and maybe your credit card. I don't know. And now you've compromised yourself by going to the confirmation site. That's fake. Make sure you know what you're doing and check it out. Really inspect. If you see any tampering with the cards, if you see any tampering with the perforation cards on these Visa or MasterCard ones, put it back and maybe pick up a different one or go somewhere else. But that is a huge scam, and it's happening over and over again. We are moving now into what happens if the company goes bankrupt? Well, you're kind of out of luck. That's why I recommend, if you do get a gift card, use it as fast as you can. Don't put it in a drawer somewhere. Use it. The bankruptcy will take that money, the company off the hook, but there is a 5-year statute if the company's still there. We've all heard about ATM and card skimmers. These are devices that are physical, placed on ATM machines or at gas stations, and you put your card in, and now it's skimmed your information. If you see something unusual, if you see something that looks a little bit like it's a bolt-on or glued-on product, either with Velcro or glue, pay attention. Take a look. Every year there will be skimmers placed on certain devices, and everybody will get at least for a while until they figure it out. There will be money lost. So there are other ways. There are also ways to fish cards out. Some of these scammers will sometimes, that card will be taken and then brought in to that skimming device, and then the scammer will pull the machine off and then take it back and take your information. Be careful. Take a look. Moving scams. We could spend a whole morning on moving scams. A lot of different situations. Let me just tell you a couple different things. The most common one that we might hear of is that your goods are in Nebraska. You move from New York to LA, and they're not going to deliver from Nebraska the rest of the way until you pay them an extra $5,000. Those are the hostage deals that everybody's heard about. One of the things that you should remember about movers is, like, don't just do phone only quotes. Have an on-site quote if you're moving so that the mover can see. Use only a licensed mover. Never use an unlicensed mover. I know there are cheaper guys out there, but you have no recourse, and you're not going to have very much to argue about. If these guys give you a cursory glance or a big discount and promises, those are big red flags. They can charge you extra fees, maybe after the fact, for a second story or for packing costs. don't sign a blank contract. Reputable movers will not do this. There's a great way to check movers. Go to bbb.org and you can check it before you move. It's a lot of money and you don't want to be held up for being hostaged. Fake event tickets are that the physical tickets are reduced now, because everything's on digital. The scammers now with AI have developed tickets that are so realistic looking that they will post these in digital and social, and people click on them. Be very careful about fake tickets. I remember a long time years ago, somebody took a tennis ball, put tickets that they went into the LA Coliseum, threw them up and over the wall down outside, and then scalpers would take these tickets and resell them to people that wanted to get in, and they were turned away at the gate. Those kind of days are gone now, with the scalpers kind of way reduced because of digital tickets, but there's still a lot of ways on social where people are selling high volume sold out events, and they're advertising cheap prices. So those are some red flags to look out for. I'm not going to spend much time on door-to-door schemes, but most likely there's a lot of imposters, and they're selling meat, pizza, ice cream, all kinds of different things. There's a lot of different issues. Just be careful. Don't let somebody into your house to conduct any business. If you're not comfortable, you've heard your grandma, mom telling you before, don't let visitors into the house and so on. Put a sign outside saying no soliciting. That at least give you a reason to be able to slam the door. There are a lot of kiosks, so there's barkers and there's sellers. It's a little bit different in the United States in some areas about barkers are people asking you to come into their kiosk and buy and sell goods. As I move through here, hold on, and it's not illegal for people to contact you and ask you, but a lot of times people that don't need these products or are embarrassed not to say no are oversold. And we've had this largely in the cosmetic area, especially in kiosks that are in malls and on the streets, and people that pull up trucks and try to sell things. Be very careful. Investigate before you purchase. Don't be pressured about buying now. And use a credit card, no cash or Venmo or Zelle. Next slide. I'm moving as fast as I could go here. AirTags, not spending too much time on AirTags, but it's kind of common sense, isn't it? Somebody slides an AirTag into your purse or into your pocket, and now they're tracking you and they're going to find out. There are new programs with Apple to be able to detect those AirTags. We've had some situations, those aren't really business product and service ones, but they are on scams on finding you on your property and your records and your car and other things that might develop into that. Use the latest Apple and tools to be able to detect AirTags. There are a lot of fake fundraisers and charities. I don't want to spend too much time on this, except go to give.org. It will help out tremendously. If you don't see that company on give.org, that doesn't mean that they're not reputable, but you do need to research. Deep fakes are with AI. AI is going crazy now that are putting faces on different people talking about scams. And let me take a look here and see if I can move on quickly. So what's going on here with deep fakes are people that are using face swaps, and they will take your face and put it onto a message to bilk somebody else out. We had a boss had his face placed on a message to one of his people in the accounting office to send $1 million to this financial firm, and he did, and it was fake, and he lost $1 million just because it was his image was compromised. Other ones are from celebrities that are selling, and they've taken their face and put these on cosmetic ads and other donations and every kinds other things. How do you know? Well, there are a lot of ways to check. You take a close look at the video, listen to the audio, look for spelling, make sure those links that bring you to online, you've checked those links out, and be careful what you post online. and don't make decisions on exactly what you see in those videos. It's getting really crazy out there. You need to be very careful. There's a lot of tax imposters that are proposing as tax preparers. Go to the listing for CPAs or the California Tax Council, CTEC, and you can research the prepare some of, if they promise you refunds, if they promise you guaranteed results, probably not a good idea to go with them. There's a CPA directory in California. There's also a California bar directory that you can look at. The CTEC is the California Tax Education Council. I'm a registered tax preparer, and I strongly suggest that you identify them and make sure that they are licensed before. A lot of car rental scams, especially post-COVID, and car rental scams are similar to the ones for properties. I can sell you a car or rent you a car, but yet they don't want to show you the car. They don't want to meet with you. You're not being vetted out. All kinds of things about when you buy a car, they don't want to show, or I'm in the military, I'm offshore, and I can't do these things now. Will you send me your cash or credit card, or worse, a gift card or Venmo? And a lot of times they lure you with lower pricing and terms. Brushing is when you are sent products from a company that you didn't order, and they delivered products, and guess what? They're on your porch. Brushing is to improve, polish the image of companies that can bolster their rates and their image by brushing with higher stats. You don't need to pay for anything that's arrived to you that you did not order. That's like one of the California laws. Just be careful that you don't offer your information later. That is a credit card in order to gain more. A lot of times there's brushing scams where if you would like to stay on this program or receive more products for free, just give us your credit card number or gift cards or Venmo or whatever, and we will continue to send products. Be careful. It's becoming very serious. We saw the Soul Fest. We saw fire concerts. Those promotional scams, huge money. People spent thousands of dollars on these events, and the Soul Fest, the hotel blamed the promoter, and the promoter blamed the hotel, the Hard Rock, and they got into a big fight. But it turns out that the Soul Fest people were just scammers. So before you buy tickets, go online and research. There doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be somebody licensed for these particular things, but you can go to the hotel site and you can go online and research these. One interesting one we found, and we were the first folks to report on this, was fake parking tickets. It began in Santa Cruz, California. And what happened was a guy's carrying down a thermal printer on a string, on a strap. He'll get your license number, print a parking ticket that looks real, place that on your windshield underneath the wiper, and there's a QR code, and you go to the QR code and you fund his personal bank account. Great. It's a terrific scam, and it gets a lot of money. Be careful with these fake parking tickets, and there's some easy ways to be able to check. And that's, of course, examine the ticket carefully. That one of the best ways to be able to check a fake parking ticket is the resource of who you pay. If it's not that county or that city, you know it's fake. You know it's fake right away, because only the municipalities can by law assess the parking tickets, not private properties. They can't do that. So make sure you check that the site of where the money wants to go. That's a great way to be able to check, but at least you know that's happening. We've been given copies of fake parking tickets in Santa Cruz, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Pasadena. Haven't seen them in San Jose, but I'm sure we will. Romance scams, big money. We've all heard about these. Butchering the pig is what they call these. I guess it's one of the ways that people describe these. It's you built up a fat pig by romance and whatever, and now it's time to get your money. I guess that's the analogy. We call them catfishing, and that is it's just a slow building of trust to the opposite sex or same sex, whatever, dating, and the romance And guess what? Then you're going to get bilked out of a lot of money. It's a huge $1.5 billion scam in just the U.S. So the stakes are high. So if you have an inkling to do some dating, hey, more power to you. Just check out some things and see if things are match up. You can look for some schemes, names, aliases, and photos. You can go to scamtracker.org and, of course, other sites on the internet to be able to check that out. Identity theft, we could spend all day on just identity theft. One way, of course, is if you give your credit card on any of these scams that we're talking about today, and you have found yourself to have been your identity has been compromised, identitytheft.gov, please write that down. That is where you go and you can help solve, at least try to repair that problem. Look at your credit report every once in a while. Check your payment and your bills to make sure they are accurate and that they are the only ones that have checked your bank statement or your credit card. Double check your credit card and bank statements and run your credit report once in a while. It's a good thing to do. Don't share your personal data, social security, birth date, and so on with somebody you don't know. Be very wary of clicking links and of phone calls. But identitytheft.gov is a terrific site. Next slide. We're rounding the stretch here, folks. Puppy scams have been around now for years. You know, most of the scams for pets during COVID, there weren't any pets, and during COVID, they had given all their pets up, and people were in waiting lines. And the scammers know it. And there's sites for you to get pictures. There's pictures of one pet that is in New York. It's the same one as in LA, so you know it's a scam. Make sure you double check the resources and you investigate the seller of that particular pet. It's always good to connect with the seller of that pet live and to see what's going on. In some cases, out of state or whatever, that's not possible. So you need to do a lot of research beforehand. Petscams.com is a great way to research those. Those that are dieting or should diet have diet scams. We have a lot of people that are preying on the new drugs, low prices on the injections and pills and so on. That industry, the scam industry on that has really skyrocketed because the money is up. We can save you money on Ozempic. Just click here and we'll get it. You've given your credit card up and now you're going to be scammed on that as well. FEMA scams very quickly. The most common FEMA scams that we're seeing, of course, in a crisis or situation is where somebody who's not even part of the scam, a homeowner, for example, gets a letter from FEMA that we are going to reimburse you that $100,000 that you applied for that FEMA loss. What? I never applied for it. So somebody has used your property or your name or both and applied for a FEMA grant or a loss. And they are sending a message to you as the homeowner, property owner, to verify that. And it might get forwarded to a PO box since your house is burned down or flood or whatever. And you don't want to be involved in that. So be very careful about FEMA scams. They're not. Some people are going to throw these letters and envelopes in the trash. If you see something from FEMA, pay attention. You just don't want your property being scammed for it. If you have to pay for a sweepstakes winning, if somebody says, please send us $200 for you can win that $25,000 for a sweepstakes, you know it's a fraud. You know it's a scam. You never have to pay, other than perhaps the initial ticket, for winning a sweepstakes. So that is the telltale flag. If somebody's asking you to pay, especially gift card, Venmo, Zelle, whatever, you need to be able to run from that. We have one guy, I think, in the LA area. He's lost $27,000 paying to somebody trying to win his $2 million earnings. Really sad. An older guy that really he's given away everything. And it's really a sad story. There's a lot of real estate fraud. I'm not going to list them all here today. It's just that it's going crazy. There's refi scams or straw buyers. That is, we pay people to represent us. Maybe they have to impersonate real buyers, maybe with better credit. There are leaseback scams, title fraud, which we've heard about on the news, appraisal fraud, mostly done to for home flippers. That is, they want appraisals to be high for certain cases, and sometimes you want it to be low for other cases to lower so that you have to pay PI insurance and so on. And there's a lot of loan fraud. Last, I'll end up here on this particular section is with pink tax. What that is that I go in and I get a haircut for $20. My wife gets her haircut, it's $40. Take my shirt in to get it cleaned, it's $2. She pays $4. I buy deodorant, the same product. Mine's blue and hers is pink, and she pays more. Women pay more on just about everything, especially in the cosmetic area. If women go to have their car repaired or construction, uh, it's we call it a pink tax, but it's really a scam. It's gouging, and there are rules now in California about that. And I just wanted to mention that it's many more rules are coming through to stop pink tax, but I think it's time for a little bit more of a groundswell to be able to cover that. Though it's fraud, it's gouging, and we see it every day, and we get complaints about it. Next slide. If you're thinking about about filing a fake review for your company, the AI is so good about fake reviews, pulling reviews for companies. The FTC has started a new program where the fine is $44,000 each. So you might want to double think about filing a fake review for your company. If you do, make sure that they're verified. You can verify those by contacting the consumers directly, which is what we do at BBB. We're the only platform that you can't post a review or a complaint unless you are a bona fide consumer of that company. Therefore, you can't trash a company merely because you don't like them or you're a competitor. Be wary about fake reviews and be extra wary about posting fake reviews. There's pictures of some gift cards that I just put in there. Next slide. For the sake of time, I'm just going to tell you that, if you spend more time with these people on social media and multiple contacts, you're probably going to lose a lot of currency scams, number one in dollar amount. Next slide. One other thing I wanted to mention is that in 2021 was the first time ever that the mature consumers were surpassed by Gen Y, Gen X, as far as the number of consumer complaints and being scammed. So we all may think that that grandma is going to be scammed more than maybe some of the 20 and 30-year-olds. That switched in 2021. Now and every year since, that it's the younger folks that are on their screens, on their phones, on their iPads, on their social, don't research, they don't inspect, they want it now, and they're getting bilked out of billions of dollars. So things are, you should really research things. Now, I think our next slide. And I mentioned in the beginning about some things, and this is my last slide. Check bbb.org, cslb.org, and other legitimate sites. It's free, for God's sakes. I actually even mentioned that you have an obligation to research now. There's so much information. You have an obligation to do it. So you have to research, especially for the big purchases, and watch out for fake reviews. Don't be pressured. Get things in writing whenever possible. Don't pay up front. Pay when this stuff is delivered, or research whenever you can. Again, don't be pressured. Try not to use gift cards or cash apps, especially if you can use a credit card in that option. Shred your documents. When I was a young private investigator going back a few years, my boss said, I want you to dive into that dumpster, Steve, at night. What was happening is the head cook was taking steaks and turkeys and meat, putting them in a garbage bag and throwing them in the dumpster. He'd come back at 2 a.m. and get them and then resell them. Well, we had to catch that guy, and I was the youngest guy on the block, and he said, you go in the dumpster. So I had to go in that smelly dumpster and grab all the stuff, and I won't do that again. My point here is, in a long way, shred your documents, especially medical, banking, whatever. It's easy. You can even tear them up, burn them, I don't know, but just shred them. You can also visit Scam Tracker, bbb.org/scam tracker, to look for scams in your area. You can look for locksmith scams or tow companies or medical fraud in your zip code by going to Scam Tracker. It's a very helpful. Law enforcement uses it every day. Next slide. I'm going to skip this for the sake of time. These are some scams that people have given to us. Weight loss, COVID incense. Some guys built everybody out for, you burn COVID, the incense, and they'll keep COVID out of your house. Guy made $27,000 in his first day. Beware of these things, and like a weight loss nose ring that you could lose weight just by putting that ring in your nose. That website was up all the way up through last year. Unbelievable. Next slide. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. I did move very quickly, probably not quick enough, but thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Steve. If anybody watching has any questions and you want to go ahead and put those in the chat box below, we'll read those to Steve and have him give us some answers.
You know, while we're waiting for potentially for a few people to put in the chat box, I just want to thank Steve on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce as well for the vast amount of information in a very short period of time. You know, some of the walkways, you know, that I was writing down as well as one, the BBB is a wealth of information. It's a trusted source, and you're obviously here to support and provide guidance. But it's all about research, right? It's that moment where they're taking advantage of desperation, fear, and emotion. So having an opportunity to pause and reflect and do some deep discovery before you make that next step obviously is very critical. I also just want to mention too that our webinar will be on our YouTube site for those that did not have a chance maybe to join us this morning, or for those that did want a refresher. You'll be able to go to our YouTube site very soon and be able to hear Steve once again kind of walk through the collection of scams that are ever present in our daily lives. So thank you for that, Steve.
Great to be here. Thank you all very much. My email is on the bottom of that slide in case you have any questions after. Thank you.
Before we go, it looks like Pat had a question, and I'm just going to allow her to ask it. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, so yeah, I'm selling my dad's estate, and I get this letter from DCM Services Inc. They're out of Minnesota. Just while you were talking, I went on your bbb.org website, and it has like 18 reviews. They're all 1 star and wish they could be less. Do I have to worry about this company at all, do you think?
Well, go to the site and take a look at their site. If you don't see any complaints on that company, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong. You can also contact the Minnesota Bar and check out some, get a good assortment of attorneys and take a look at alternatives as well. That's what I
was
would
going to say. Every review is negative on your BBB site. So
well, that might be an inkling of things to come. So you might want to avoid them and try someone else. And the bar in Minneapolis or Minnesota has some terrific attorneys.
Does that follow along with that these reviews are vetted, so these would be valid?
Well, again, we're the only platform to where those bad reviews are from actual consumers. Those aren't made up just because they don't like that attorney or that office or that industry. So these are actual consumers of that business. Now, being that they don't have any positive ones, you know, sometimes a lot of people they like to write bad things, not necessarily good things. When they're upset, they go to the internet perhaps more than when they're satisfied. That just seems to be like a normal rule. So that doesn't mean that that particular company is that necessarily that bad. It's not a good sign. And to me, Pat, I would research a couple other attorneys and choose somebody that, of course, is licensed by the state and that has some positive reviews and good after you interview them.
Well, this is different. This is a company that I think they buy debt from dead people. I mean, this is like the scum of the earth, right? And it may even have been debt that was already paid. They don't care. They try to come after the estate for it.
Yeah, so good that you're doing the research. I think it's terrific. You're actually doing the research. So many people don't. I would say continue until you find somebody that you are very satisfied with.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Lori, do we have any more
Like that
questions?
was the only question we had, other than will this be available later, which yes, it will. But I think that's it for now, Steve. Like we said, if you have any other questions for him, his email is at the bottom of this page right now.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you very much to everyone for joining us. Thank you, Steve, for giving us this presentation. This will be
All right.
available on our YouTube channel at the end of this week. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Steve.
Bye.
Mhm.